Welcome everybody to another motocross action video. Today we are in Buchanan, Michigan at the REDBUD National Track. This place is beautiful right now because we are getting ready for the Motocross of Nations this weekend, and in this video we are giving you guys a track preview of what is going on here at REDBUD. As you guys know, this track is known for having the best dirt on the planet. We had the Motocross Nations here in 2018. Now it's back again for 2022. This is only the 5th time that the Motocross of Nations has been held here in the United States. It's been 11 years since Team USA has grabbed the win, but this year we got Eli Tomac and Chase Sexton doing all-time record level speeds in the Outdoor Nationals, and they are on top of their game. We also have Justin Cooper, strong starting rider and a strong rider in the 250 class representing for Team USA. So fingers are crossed that they can get it done this weekend. But in this video, we're going to talk about what REDBUD is all about and also the changes they made for the Motocross of the Nations. The best part about REDBUD that everybody looks forward to is the dirt. REDBUD is known for having some beautiful, perfectly brown loam. We got a little bit of clay underneath some of the jumps, so where the jumps don't crumble away, but the loam on the start straight, the loam right here coming off of the finish line, sweeping into the start straight is some of the best dirt you can get on the planet. Luckily, the MXA Wrecking Crew, we were here at the end of May testing the 2023 KTM bikes, and it was a blast. That was my first time riding here for a non-national day. So much fun riding this track when we had it private to ourselves, testing new bikes. I've raced the national here in 2016 and 2017, so raced here twice. I did jump the Roccos Leap in 2017, and that was an awesome feat and something that I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life. They do have the Roccos Leap. It is back for this weekend, and it looks like the run up to it is gonna be allowing these guys to hit the leap, so that is a good thing. We don't wanna see 450s doubling it. We wanna see them sending the whole thing. So that is always a big topic when you come to REDBUD here. You talk about the dirt and you talk about Roccos Leaps. Those are the big things you talk about when you come to this track. New for the Motocross of the Nations, they brought in a lot of different stuff. So you guys might remember the start straight. It is new since 2018. They changed it. The start used to be over here on the north end of the track. Now it's positioned off to the east side of the track, and it comes into the start with a sharp 180 right-hand corner. The reason they changed it for the Motocross of the Nations in 2018 was because they needed a long straightaway to put in the large mechanics area. So we'll go check out the mechanics area in a second here, but long story short, old start used to be here, new start is over there. Another thing about Motocross of the Nations is just the infrastructure they have around the track is pretty unique. So let's go take a look at it. So now we're at the starting line here. This is where we're gonna kind of start off this track preview video. Behind me, we have the first turn, and that is actually Team France. They got Maxime Renault, Dylan Ferrandis, and Marvin Muscan walking the track with the whole Team France crew. So we just saw them here. They were checking out the starting grates. So when I talk about the infrastructure at the MXGP events that they've brought over here to the Motocross of the Nations, you gotta talk about the massive setup that they have behind the start area. This is where the riders will pit and line up for their gate picks before each race. We also have the podium here right behind the starting line. Pretty smart of them to have the podium position in such a central location. It also gives great banners and signage for their sponsors like Monster Energy. Then taking a look at the start straight, we're back to the grate. So this is what we have here in AMA Supercross, but for the Nationals, Chase Sexton, Eli Tomac, and Justin Cooper, they've been using dirt starts at Hangtown, Paula, REDBUD when we were here a few months ago, Southwick, and all the rest of the AMA Nationals. These guys have been doing dirt starts all summer, but we're back to the grates like Supercross style for the Motocross of the Nations. One thing that's unique about starting on the grate is that you have max traction. It's almost one-to-one traction where you're not gonna get any wheel spin coming off of the line. So that makes gate position and gate choice a lot less important because you all are equal starting behind the gate. It's all really about position on the starting line, where you're gonna get that angle to the first turn. So here at REDBUD, the inside gates are all pretty equal. We know that Eli Tomac got hole shots from near the starting box in the middle of the start during the REDBUD Nationals. So Another thing I want to note about starting on the grates is that in Supercross and here for the Motocross of Nations, the riders are going to have their starting devices set way lower on their bikes because they're not worried about spinning off of the gates. They need to keep their front tire down as they get off the line. They don't want to be wheeling off of these starting grids. Another thing to note here for Motocross of Nations is you're going to have 250s and 450s racing at the exact same time. So it's going to be challenging for the 250s to get a start with the 450 class. All right guys, we are standing in the mechanics area tower, and this is where the team managers and crew chiefs will sit. They'll stand up here on top of the mechanics area on the second level. They got TVs to watch lap times and replays. Down below us is where you have mechanics area. That's where the mechanics will be with their pit boards, talking to their riders. So you have lots of guys radioing from top to bottom, keeping in contact with where their riders are on the track. And you got to remember, for Motocross of Nations, it is a team event. So we have 3 riders fighting for each country, and you got to keep an eye on how each rider's doing on the track and see where the points are going. So sometimes you need a rider to jump up a few positions, or you need to just make sure the rider stays safe and doesn't push to win the race because he's already in a good points position and he doesn't need to win to maybe win the overall. So a lot of strategy goes into this race. Also strategy goes into picking the starting position, because you earn your gate pick in the qualifying races on Saturday, and then you line up for the races on Sunday. You have MX1 and MX2 racing at the same time, so you got a 450 and a 250. It's up to you to decide, are you going to give your best gate pick to the 250 rider, or are you going to give Chase Sexton or Eli Tomac that best gate pick for the first moto? So always a gamble. A lot of strategy goes into this race and the mechanics area. This is something that you see at every single MXGP race. The FIM crew and the MXGP crew, they brought it over here for the Motocross of Nations, and it's definitely something interesting that we don't see normally here at REDBUD. All right guys, we are here at the transition from the top section to the bottom section of the track. This is where you do that famous drop off that's always been here at REDBUD. You come down into the only real bottleneck of the track. We got a tight right-handed 180 degree right-hander down here into a sand jump. It's got a double, but really you could triple it and even quad it. I don't think anybody's gonna quad it, but you got a couple rollers after it, and this is the same setup they had at the National. So same exact layout that we saw at the National, and this track is big. It's a national track. It's a legit national track, which means that it flows. It's got big, wide open corners, and really only 2 spots where it gets tight and technical and maybe just a little one-lined. One of them is gonna be that sharp right-hander 180 degree turn down there. The other one is going to be right after the mechanics area, that sharp 180 degree left. Other than that, REDBUD National Track is a big flowy track, open track, great for spectating as you have all this room here in the infield to watch. And overall, this track is shaping up to be awesome. One bit of insight that I do have for you guys, they did not add any sand to the REDBUD National this year, and they left the track layout exactly the same as the AMA National. Back in 2018, the FIM requested that they make the track a little bit shorter, so they cut off one of the lanes that made the track different, and it also obviously had weather, rain, mud. That made for a lot different conditions for the racing. So this year, exact same layout, exact same dirt. They haven't added or subtracted any of the dirt they have here, and overall the track looks like it's going to be awesome this weekend. They bring over their sponsors from their current schedule into the Motocross of the Nations. So a lot of these companies you might not even recognize. Some of them are new to me, but it's cool to have some different sponsors here at the Motocross of the Nations. I also got to compliment the MXGP crew on just the way they've designed the track signage wise. So far it seems like there's pretty good viewing options, where at some of the other nationals we've seen where hospitality tents will be right in the middle of the track and it'll block the view for the rest of the track. So that's one thing here. The middle of the track, so far it looks pretty empty, and that means that spectators will get a good view of this side of the track. Overall, looking forward to Motocross of Nations here. All right guys, so this is one of the coolest sections of the track. You land off this fun tabletop, which is great for whips and scrubs, and then you got the option to hit the inside single or rail around the outside before you go up into the massive horseshoe sweeper. This inside single though, it does have some added sand here. This is like beach sand they added in, but don't worry. It's not sand all over the track. We just got little pockets of sand that they added on some of the inside singles here. And we were told that they didn't add any extra sand. So this is just typical adding sand into the track here at REDBUD. It's typical stuff they do for this layout, but I like this section because you always get cool videos of Chase Sexton and Eli Tomac launching off this inside single, banking off that wall right there, and then going up into the massive sweeping horseshoe. That's a great spot to watch from at the top of the hill where you got the hospitality tent up there. And that sweeper just shows exactly how wide open and how many options there are on the track for lines and so on. You got lots of iconic videos of top riders hitting that corner. All right guys, we are in the transition from the bottom side of the track to the top side of the track. We're gonna get over into Roccos Leap, but first I gotta show off the camping area. We already have tons and tons of campers here, and there's still more trucking in. We got helicopters in the sky getting photos from above, giving people tours around the place. And yeah, long story short, camping is already packed. These people have been here for days, and we got a long line of campers coming in right now. This is only Friday morning, so just imagine what it's gonna be like Friday night, Saturday for qualifying, and especially Sunday. We got that whole parking lot on the north side of the track is gonna be packed with cars. So we rented a Jeep truck, Rubicon, this weekend because we were preparing just in case it got muddy. We'd have to have some four-wheel drive to get out of here, but hopefully, fingers crossed, the weather looks good so far. It's got nice temperatures. People are wearing sweatshirts and pants. Friday, Saturday, partially cloudy, but a little bit of sun. Sunday, we got a chance of showers, and so we're gonna keep our eyes on that. Cross our fingers that doesn't happen, and we get a beautiful race day on Sunday. They're already watering the track a bunch. They're ripping it super deep, so they're preparing for a good weekend of racing. All right, guys, behind me, we have Roccos Leap, famous for when Mike LaRocco jumped it on a 125 two-stroke. When you drive in the gate and you look at this track from far, or you look at this jump from far away, and even kind of looking at it from here, it doesn't look too bad, especially driving in from the gate. The takeoff looks mellow, the distance looks mellow, it doesn't look like too much elevation climb for the step up. But once you get up close to it, and even now, judging by how small the guys are that are standing on top of the lip, you can tell just the magnitude of Roccos Leap. It's not undoable. This jump is very, very doable for even 250s and especially 450s, but the intimidating factor about Roccos Leap is that the lip is massive. The run up to it isn't always the best. It gets deep and soft coming out of that corner. And the big thing about it is that the top has a knuckle on the landing, and the drop off down to the bottom is about 20 feet. So if you case it, that means you're jumping down to the bottom. And if you endo forwards, or if you loop out backwards like we've seen other riders do, it's not a very pretty picture. So that is definitely a jump that you do not want to case, and it's deceiving when you look at it from far, but very scary when you hit it on the track. Standing in the sand rollers here, this is an uphill sand roller section at REDBUD, and this is a gnarly energy zapping station. You can already hear the fans are testing out their horns, getting ready for REDBUD tomorrow and Sunday. But sand rollers, one of my favorite parts of the track, especially for me, I'm a taller rider. But this section zaps you energy. You're coming out of the corner, you gotta push down with your knees and try to keep that rear wheel on the ground. They built up the rollers quite a bit. I'm 6 feet tall and they come up 2.5, 3 feet on me. So deep rollers is gonna be sandy and gnarly. Coming into them, you have an option, inside berm, outside berm. Got the water truck coming behind me. Very fun section. Keep your eyes on this Saturday and Sunday. Standing in the middle of Roccos Leap, we're on the double side of the landing. Getting to here is extremely easy. It feels like you're letting off so much, you don't have to give it that much throttle, you make it to the double side. Getting to the triple landing, the top of Roccos Leap, that is a whole nother story. It takes everything your bike has. And this year, taking a look at the corner before it, all eyes are on what is Tim Ritchie and the REDBUD track crew going to do. Inside single there, are they gonna rip it super deep? Are they gonna build a big berm around the outside? Well, it looks like right now they got a solid berm around the outside, not massive, solid berm. It's gonna be really hard to hit that jump from the inside, but I think 450s should get it no problem around the outside coming up to this jump. All eyes are gonna be on the Roccos Leap. I know from experience when I raced the AMA National here in 16 and in 17, you start getting nervous for this jump right around when you come around that right-hander. You hit that tabletop, all you're thinking about is the Roccos Leap. You come down into this corner, it gets rough in this downhill. We've seen some big crashes here happen at the AMA Nationals, and all eyes are on just getting as much momentum as you can coming out of the corner, getting a solid drive up to the Roccos Leap, get some awesome hang time, you look over at the fans, and go on with your race. So I didn't jump it in 2016 on a 250, but in 2017 I did jump it racing a 450, and the first lap I did it, I followed Weston Pike off of it when he was riding the JGR Suzuki. So a lot of fun hitting this jump. It is something that's on the bucket list and something I'm proud of, and glad I'm not gonna have to hit it this weekend. All right, guys, we have made it to the finish line here at the REDBUD Motocross of the Nations. We hope you guys enjoyed this track preview video where we showed you as much as we could about this track. We know there's a lot of people from around the world and even here in the United States that wanted to be at this event that couldn't make it here. So we hope the MXA Wrecking Crew was able to give you guys some value and share a little bit and build the excitement for Sunday's racing here at REDBUD. So finish line right behind us. Hopefully we see Team USA crossing the finish line, fist pumping on Sunday with the Chamberlain Trophy. Looking forward to that. Thank you guys for watching this video. We have more coverage from the REDBUD Motocross of the Nations on our website. We got a Best in the Pits video. We got coverage from qualifying, interviews, and more. So stay tuned there. motocrossactionmag.com.